Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Two-dimensional God consciousness is not it. It's not two-dimensional. You know, like two-dimensional is like black and white, you know. You just have two things. It's either black or it's white. It's two-dimensional God consciousness, two-dimensional Krishna consciousness. No. No. It's technicolor. It's not black and white. It's technicolor. There's a spectrum. And it's not just knowledge. It's emotions. If you're going to talk about love of God, where is there love without emotions? Where is there love without tears? Where is there love without laughter and joy? Where is there love without fear? Fear of something happening to get in the way, to disturb that wonderful relationship of the lover and the beloved. Whether it be master and servant or friend or parent and child or lover and beloved. It's not black and white. It's technicolor. Full range of emotions. And that's what we have by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who exhibited emotions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You can understand what a devotee is. They're not a two-dimensional stick figure. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You're not a study in black and white. That's kind of the level a starting level, black and white. Do this, don't do that. That's black and white. This is good, that's bad. Do this, don't do that. That's kind of like the black and white level. But the technicolor level is when the emotions are involved. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Well, tonight is what I call one of those Chaitanya nights. Oh, Krishna. Oh my goodness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Yo, hey Lance, it's one of those, Hare Krishna, it's one of those Technicolor, Krishna consciousness in Technicolor nights. It's a Chaitanya night. Krishna. Oh, God. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh man. Wow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, ah, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Ah, Nishingadev. Oh my goodness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You know, there's a pastime. Lord Chaitanya, when he was a young man, before sannyas, he was living in his mother's house, and I don't know exactly what set it off, but he went into a rage, and he destroyed their house. He destroyed everything in their house. He just destroyed everything, all the cooking utensils. I think he destroyed the house too. He destroyed everything. He went into a rage. I need to look that pastime up. Why did he go into a rage like that? What set him off? He destroyed everything in the house. And he was living with his mother. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Meaning, the Krishna book, within the last couple, I've read it so many times, within the last couple of years I've read it twice all the way through. So now I'm on the third time. And really, the access to Krishna is through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mood of separation. That's how you have to approach Krishna. That's how we have to approach Krishna. It's through the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is intense separation. Mostly, Krishna is being approached by like all this studying stuff, you know. But it's through the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna, his mood, his mercy. Hare Krishna, Hare, he's Radha Krishna in one person. He is Radha Krishna. He is Hare Krishna. Oh God, he is Hare Krishna. Krishna is Krishna, and Hare is Hare, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Hare Krishna. He is Hare Rama. Panchatattva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like you say, Krishna is non-different from his name. Krishna. Well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Hare Krishna. He is Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna! It's one of those nights. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. I have the great luxury and opulence of neighbors that are far enough away that I can get away with this without them freaking out. I can hoot and holler, and I can call for Krishna as loud as I want to, and I don't know, they might hear something, but not much. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. When I moved here, it was like I was looking for a house, you know, to live in. And I looked at a few of them. They were like in neighborhoods, you know, where the houses are kind of close to each other. And it just wasn't going to work. And I found this one. It's got a 6-foot-high wooden fence all around it, so you can't see in, with a gate that locks, you know. And, and it's an acre of land. And I got one neighbor on this side. He's great. Very, very, very old man and his nephew. Their house burnt down, but they live in like these little ramshackle trailers. And this it looks like a junkyard. I mean, it's just everything there in piles, rotting. I don't know why they have all that stuff. And they have like 19 cats. I really like the guy. He's really something. He's very, very nice. I spoke with him yesterday, and he's really cool. He's actually pretty high, you know. He's like, I said, how can you afford to feed all those cats? He said, if they don't eat, I don't eat. I have to feed them. He's a black man. He's very, very old. And he's really, really cool. So he said something about, he said, the only way out of here is death. He said, you better hang on to your soul, because the only way out of here is death. That's that neighbor over there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I hear a bunch of hooting and hollering coming out of there too. Some screaming goes going over there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I cut the grass in front of his, you know, there's like a strip between his house and the highway, the road, the main road. I always cut that. He can't cut it. I cut it for him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And on the other side is 5-acre lots. So they're way over there. They're 5-acre lots. And they're like these $1 million homes. And there I am in the middle with whatever this is. And across the street is sheep and goats and cows. So they do a lot of noises too. And that's it, you know. In the back is some wooded area. That's it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I can get away with this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Boy, what a blessing from Krishna, because you know this area is saturated with devotees, but they all kind of live in little clusters, you know. That wouldn't work for me. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't work for me. I mean, maybe it would. I'd have to make it work, but they live in little clusters, you know. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare. Not the kind of stuff that goes on here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Ah, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Oh my God. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Oh, Krishna. Ah, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Spiritual physics. Multidimensional physics. There's two-dimensional geometry, and then there's multi-dimensional geometry. There's algebra, and then there's abstract algebra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. I remember that was a real shock when I was I studied in college for a while. And right out of high school, I went to college. And I liked mathematics because it was so precise, if you did this, then that, if this, then that. I mean, that's really, the formulas are all like that. If A equals such and such and B equals such and such, then C equals such. It's if this, then that, if this, then that, if this, then that. It was just different ways of if this, then that, mathematics. And I felt so secure because if this, then that. And I went all the way up through Calculus 4 and like geometry to the 3rd level. And I went because it was just basically if this, then that. And if you could figure out if, and you could figure out this, if, and this, then you could get that, you get your A+ on your paper. And then there was Professor Rahaki, this Indian woman, and she taught abstract algebra, and that's when my brains popped out. I lost it. I lost it. And of course she had to be an Indian, right? It must have been the past life flooding back through, her Indian accent, and I could not, it wasn't if this then that anymore, it was something else. It was set theory, and it was qualities and characteristics, groupings by qualities and characteristics, and it was like a whole nother realm, and that was it. That was, I almost flunked that course. I just couldn't get it. And then I dropped out of college. I had 3 weeks before graduation, I quit. Hare Krishna. Because I had almost a nervous breakdown. What happened to if this, then that, Everything was based on 0 and 1. Everything. All the numbers that I'd been using in all my trigonometry and calculus and geometry, and it all came from 0 and 1. I was done. It finished me off. This is useless, I've got to understand what's going on here. There's another dimension. It's not just if this, then that. It's not just 1 + 1 = 2. There's more going on here. I've got to find out what it is. Forget it. What good is it, So 3 weeks before graduation, I walked out. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. A lot of things were happening then. It's like in the biology class, the professor, it was in a big auditorium, she put like a, what do they call them, cross-cut section that they look at under a microscope. Well, it was a photograph of that she put up on the big screen. It was a stem cell on the big screen in the auditorium. And when I saw that, actually I'd gone back to college to try and finish up. And when I saw that, I walked out again. So I never finished. I only stayed the second time for a couple of weeks. It was too much. She showed that cross-section of that stem cell. What I saw, and I didn't even know about Krishna consciousness then, was I saw Krishna dancing with the gopis in that stem cell. I was getting that close to finding my spiritual master. I was getting that close. I remember I saw that. I went up to the professor and I said, "Do you see what that is?" It was like a mandala, and all the little nerve endings were like connected to each other, and there was a center. And I said, "Do you see what that is?" And she's looking at me like, She was in black and white. I was in Technicolor. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Turn your goddamn brain off and just listen to the mantra. Turn that sucker off. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Get some juice, for God's sake. Hare Krishna. Take a drink. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. If you don't drink the nectar of this transcendental sound vibration, you'll end up drinking something else, that's for sure. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Why do you think? No, I haven't been drinking. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. I'm boring. I just scream and yell and cry for Krishna all the time. Other than that, I don't do anything. But why do you think they call alcohol spirits? Because it kind of like spirited, kind of. Krishna. Hare Krishna, it's poison. That's poison. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. This intoxication is life-giving. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Giridhara, Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hey Lynch, you want to come on the camera? You want to come on? Invite you on. See what's going on? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Very
Hare
well.
Krishna.
Hey, a survivor.
Yeah. I've been it's been it's been a great it's been a great day for me.
Hare
I'm
Krishna.
still up. I've been chanting all day and incorporating some different things in my chanting, and it's really helped me. And yeah, I've been chanting along with you here. So
Ah, Krishna.
always
Like you don't have much association there, right? Like there's no community or anything
association with different people.
in your area where you live.
No, I don't have any. I'm the only devotee within hundreds of miles, I think. We
Kri-
don't have anything here.
Krishna's protecting you.
Yeah, maybe so, because, I read, yeah, I agree. I read these things from other people and even different gurus. I read about what's going on in the temples and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, I'm
It's
glad I'm not there.
it's like a storm. It's like a storm. There's so much static and buzz and bzzz, it's like overload. It's like being in a, you know, it's all related to Krishna more than just like fruitive workers working at the store kind of thing. Um, but it's really a staticky storm. There's a lot of static on the lines. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's so Krishna is protecting you. He's protecting you, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take my earbuds out and see if I can hear better.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Can you hear better?
Maybe.
Like you have an ear problem, hearing problem, anyway.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's a frequency problem. Um, yeah, it started a long time ago, probably it's at least 40 years ago. Um, I was, yeah, so it's a frequency problem working around loud machinery is what caused it. So.
Mm. Hare Krishna. Some devotees have that problem from the kartals. 'Cause they clang them so loud. You're in a room and they clang them and
Right. Yeah. Well, mine's probably a combination of concerts, loud music, and working around loud machinery. I contribute all of it to that, but
it probably helps you hear your own chanting better, though, right?
well,
Like I know when
I
I
hear myself well.
yeah, when I put earplugs in, it's like I can really hear myself, because it blocks out all the other stuff. And like, wow, it's like it's so yeah.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna,
yeah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Yeah, there are devotees here, and so there's a chance for association, and um, there's a lot of rough edges, and it's like wow, it's like oh man, like I had somebody come by today that I hadn't seen in a long time, and man, I can't sleep. I mean, because I think as the more you get into this vibration, Krishna, the more sensitive you become to other vibrations. When somebody comes and they have like another vibration, and they enter into your space, it's like, how do you get them out of there?
Right.
Get them out.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, so I had that today. Somebody came in and they've got all this other stuff going on. And, and I took them in, so that I could relate to them and talk to them and, And now it's like, I can't, they got to get out. They got to go because they had all these other ideas about everything. And
Right.
it's all up here. There's like nothing going on here. Like
Right.
practically nothing. They have this idea about that idea about this. And then, and it's like, yeah, but where's this, Well, what is that? And I'm like,
Right. I know. I know. Yeah, you and I, well, like me, I'm kind of alone here a lot, and I'm in this other zone. Everything, I try to spend as well, I'm like in this Krishna conscious zone all the time. And then when I come in contact with someone that's not, it's what you're saying there. Uh, you know, it was like yesterday. I was telling my son, you know, uh, I've got a friend of mine that all this person does is watch TV. That's all they do. From when they get up to when they go to, this is 12, 14 hours a day of TV or something. And I'm thinking to myself, the only thing that they know is what they've been told on TV, which is an illusion. They watch movies. It's all fake. It's actors pretending to be different people and stuff. And this is all they know. Everything they know is what they've learned on TV. There's nothing here.
Well,
nothing here. They don't even understand it.
What the movies do and what the TV does, I was thinking about this yesterday, is it allows to feel some emotions. Because you got a movie, somebody's in love with someone and they're having problems, or somebody, is suffering this way, or, you feel things. The people watch movies, they cry,
Well,
they
sure.
laugh, it allows them to feel something, but it's misplaced. Those emotions are meant for Krishna. They're meant for Krishna.
You are exactly right.
Yeah. That's when they get all upset about politics and they get all upset about the news. The feelings are that's what, there's no love without emotions, but it's all misplaced. It's all on all this other stuff. It's just misplaced.
Yeah, it is.
Krishna. Krishna.
Krishna.
I just take him out and shoot them all, I guess, That's what Kalki's going to do. When Kalki comes, he's going to just, all right, over everybody's head, I've had enough of this. Finished.
They only, it's like I posted a while back, people only understand to their level of understanding. If, I can talk about something all day long to someone till I'm blue in the face, but they only understand at their level of mentality.
They have a filter. They've got a filter. It only processes according to the filter. It's like,
yeah, they don't understand. I was talking to my son yesterday and trying to explain things to him. I guess I don't know if it sticks. I hope it does, but I think it just goes in one ear and out the other.
Something will stick. It sometimes
Eventually
water wear away a stone. And something will stick.
Well, it better start sticking pretty soon, because he's going down the wrong path. And I was a single parent, and I raised my children from when they were born. From the moment my children were born, and they're only 15 months apart, I raised them. And, I did I think I did a pretty good job. I got all the credits. I won Parent of the Year at their schools over and over and over. And I tried to teach them, good things and everything. But then, each soul has its own way to go. Each soul takes the high road or the low road, and then some point they float around in between. So we really don't have control over we don't have control over people, places, or things. Every soul is their own soul, and I just try to get through. And my children, I've studied religion all my life, and so my children were around that, and they were speaking Hebrew, they were speaking Aramaic. My kids were speaking all this stuff because I did. I was absorbed in this stuff, and so they've been around spirituality, and then when I put all that aside and went back to my original Krishna consciousness, they were grown. They've been out of the house for years. They've been out of my house for, Lord, 15 years. So they have their own life, own family and direction, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But anyway, I hope I'm breaking through. My daughter is very receptive to Krishna consciousness and everything, but my son, he's into other stuff, sports, things like that.
For us in the West, it's a little more difficult. Indians, the Indian culture, Hindu culture, whatever, they have a little stronger family network kind of thing. So in some ways, raising a family, there's more support, and the families can stay together more, and they stay more focused on, even if it's just demigods or something, they kind of like clump together, In the West, it's very difficult. It's very difficult because it's such a disturbing atmosphere all around.
Yeah, totally different culture.
Yeah, it's a different culture, and so it's really very difficult to raise a family and have the kids, even like devotee families like that have been like a mother and father, like they started early when Prabhupada was here. They were brahmachari and brahmachari. They got married, and they're going to have a family. And even in those families that have been ringing the bells and waving the fans for years, the kids, they reach a certain age, they go out and they experiment and they come back with tattoos.
Yeah, this is what's going on here.
Yeah, it's
they're covered in tattoos.
Yeah. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Whoa! The holy name. I bumped into one older devotee at the post office. See, around here, no matter where you go, you're going to bump into devotees. If you go in the store, there's a devotee at the cash register. If you go to the supermarket, there's a devotee putting the vegetables out. I mean, it's serious, So I was at the post office, and it was a devotee that had gone in and was coming out, and they just got over this COVID thing. They made it through, and she said, it's just the holy name is what's saving us. That's all. It's just the holy name. That's it. And
yeah,
she's right. Yeah, she's right. It's to try and structure society in the middle of this storm that's going on. It with really no support from the government. The government actually if a culture becomes a little strong, the government doesn't like it because they think, oh, maybe it's a threat, you know, and they're going to take over the government, you know. So,
Yeah, and that's happened in the past. You know,
yeah, yeah. There's some talk about that even within the ISKCON, something with the infiltration, which, you know, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, is Kali Yuga. I mean, it's just very difficult to raise a family in this kind of environment, you know. And then they go to the public schools, right? And then, you know, they get all kinds of stuff coming in there. Very, very difficult. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I hope your children are going to be okay. They're probably, what, are they married? Kids? Big, little, or?
my son got divorced here a few years ago, 2 years ago, and my daughter, you know, she has, you know, she's doing good, and but my son's just really gone downhill. Um, he was, I mean, he had perfect credit. He had great jobs and everything, and then he started drinking, and he lost all of his jobs,
Well, yeah, of
lost all of his
course.
credit.
What a dummy. It probably the relationship when it went sour, it probably messed him up, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he had been married for a long time, like 13 or 14 years, and
That messed him up, you know, when he lost that. That was strength for him. That when he lost that, that messed him up.
yeah, what can we do? So I can, you know, I get, all I can do is try to be the best example I can, which I've tried to be in the past. I've had
Well,
my ups and downs a few
if
times,
it's
but
really bad, I think you can do an intervention, right? There's a way to do an intervention if it gets really bad, like, you know.
well, yeah, you know, at one point I was seriously thinking about this, you know, but
And then if it's possible, you know, if he actually somehow could be turned to the idea of like AA, you know. AA is a great group. They're a good group.
right, yeah.
It
You
works.
know, it's like he was telling me here, I don't know, a month or so ago. He said, "Dad, I don't have a drinking problem,"
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and and, and I was thinking that I didn't say this, but I was thinking, okay, you've lost all your jobs, you you have a you have a DUI now,
Oh man.
and you know all of these bad things have happened, and you know you don't have, and it was all alcohol related, of course, and of course you don't have a drinking problem. uh, you know, it's that illusion that he's in. You know, I don't have a drinking problem yet, but if you look at everything that's happened in the last 2 years, everything, all everything that went bad was due to drinking.
Usually, I'm familiar with the AA and the Al-Anon and stuff. I didn't drink, but I'm familiar with it. I attended a lot of sessions because
Right.
um, I saw some value there in what they were doing. I mean, I don't have a substance problem. I got a psychological problem, but I don't have a substance problem. But the alcohol covers the actual problem. So um, it's easier to deal with alcohol than to face the problem. See, the alcohol covers the misery. You know, it covers it. It blocks
It's a
it out.
symptom.
Well, it blocks it out. It's you
Yeah.
block out. You don't have to think about, you know, anything.
Sure.
You just, you know, absorbed and then.
I
So
went.
the real problem is underneath. But then, so now there's two problems. The problem that's underneath, and then the cover, what's covering it with the alcohol. So then that is two problems.
You know, for years, you know, I've been a musician all my life, and after about, I guess my children were like two and 3 years old. You know, I was still, you know, I was doing things. I was playing out in clubs. You know, I had my regular day job, and then at night, you know, I'm playing in clubs and doing things like that. And then after I had my kids, uh, I I started going to Alcoholics Anonymous,
Oh,
and
okay.
I went to I I went for 13 years religiously. Uh, I went to AA for
Good
13
group of
years.
people. Everyone's very honest. I mean, I just the honesty alone is worth it. You know, honest people struggling with a material problem. I mean, like, wow, you know, give them something for that, you know.
Yeah,
Seriously. Yeah, you make good friendships too. Friendships there. So
yeah, yeah, I did. But,
when I was attending some of those sessions, I was thinking, man, the whole world needs to do some kind of 12-step something, you know, rather.
yeah, true. Even if you're not an alcoholic, the 12-step program, you know, it teaches you, uh, you know, if you don't have any kind of spirituality, you know, you find spirituality, whether it's a doorknob, you know, they say, you know, if even if you don't believe in God, just
Pencil.
believe in that
Pencil.
doorknob, and or whatever. Put your faith in something. So it you know, it did me good, and I went for 13 years, and for 5 years of that, I chaired at least several meetings a day. I was chairing up to five meetings a day for several years.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my God. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. 5 years? Oh my God. Hare Krishna.
I was chairing 5 meetings a day for. I chaired 5 meetings a day for I guess 3 years. The last 3 years I was in there in AA. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe last 2 years.
that really fulfilled something for you because you're a single parent, right?
I needed it.
Must have been pretty darn lonely to have to deal with small children all by yourself like that. Must have been good. So that, you know, that
Well,
built
you
trust.
know, we do. We had a great time. You know, everyone was telling me, you know, God, I don't see how you do it. And now that I look back, I don't see how I was raising two babies either.
Uh,
You know, you just do what you do. You go into this uh, automatic mode and you just do it, and you
yeah.
know, it's just life. But now that I look back on it, I don't know how I did it either. But you know, we did everything together. You know, and going to concerts and you know, music festivals. You know, they you know, they went with me through all my musical stuff. You know, and they're musicians too. Although they had you know other jobs, you know, they're both multi instrumentalists. My daughter became an air traffic controller, and uh,
You were three peas in a pod.
yeah, we were.
Yeah.
I had babies with me everywhere.
Hare Krishna.
So it's all okay, and
You know, the parents are the spiritual masters for the children. So you're
for
actually
sure.
your spiritual master, and you had your little disciples, you know, your little students. Well, that's one way to look at it. I mean, it's not, you know, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you were their teacher, their well wisher, the provider, their diaper
Hmm.
changer when they needed that, and yeah, wow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Wow. So it makes sense that, you know, your heart is troubled by, you know, your son on this. He's on like he's got
Parental concern.
Yeah, he's run into a stumbling block, and you're concerned about it. Yeah, it makes sense. Krishna.
And my son, listen to this. He was on the presidential honor roll up until his last year of high school. He was on the president honor roll. Never missed a day of school, and never went below a grade A. He had A's all of his school years, and never missed a day. And then he dropped out of school in senior high school, and he was working 2 full-time jobs and trying to go to school. And he said, "Screw that. I want the money." So he dropped out of school. He's a workaholic. He's worse than I was.
It's one of those kind of addictive personalities. So now the alcohol's getting him.
Yeah, he lost all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, lost it all. But anyway.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yeah.
I like this bead here. And on this bead here, it looks like it has a peacock feather on it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
It's one of my. There's one on the other side, of course.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
But if you, yeah, it looks like a peacock feather.
Does, doesn't it? Look at that. It does. Look at that.
Yeah, if you see it, in person, it's really clear. I got 2 beads on here that have peacock feathers.
Now I'm going to be looking. Do I have any?
Yeah, bead number 16 and bead number 45 have peacock feathers.
Wow, how do you like that? I don't have any peacock feathers. I don't have any. Nope, you got all the peacock feathers. Mine don't have any. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Oh,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Oh, Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ah,
Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ah,
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Ah,
Ram, Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama, Rama, Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare. I'm
Krishna.
back at number 45 again. Back at bead 45 again. 16 and 45 have the peacock
Hare
feather.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Ram, Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Rama,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'm at my head bead now, so
I'm such a scrounger, I'm a scrounger. I look for scraps, crumbs and scraps. When Prabhupada was, on the planet and preaching and everything, I was in the general vicinity. I was in, the temples and stuff. But a lot of devotees, they'd rush in to get some personal service for Prabhupada, empty his wastebasket, wash his dhoti, cook his, and I wasn't
mhm.
like that. I didn't rush in anywhere. I was like, I was living off of their glow. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they were getting the mercy, and then I was getting the mercy mercy because they were getting the mercy. I could see Prabhupada because of their service to Prabhupada. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, always out there somewhere, and I was just living off everybody else's. Such a rascal, you know. Yeah, it's kind of, I think that's kind of like what my spiritual personality might be like, is I don't rush in to the source, you know. Like I get, you know, my strength and my juice from the others who are surrendered, you know, to rushing in and going directly, and you know, I think that's kind of like what I'm like, because this is what happened then, and it seems to still be going on.
Yeah, low profile.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think I would probably just disintegrate, you know. I mean, I would
That's
become
funny.
incoherent. I just, you know, discombobulated, you know. I just, you know, it's like, yeah. So it's like I live off the mercy of the other devotees, and you know,
I feel like I'm doing the same thing too.
sometimes they're a little contaminated because they're not completely pure yet. So you get some of that coming in too, but you sort it out, you know, you sift through it, you know.
Yeah. I'm the lowest of the low.
No, you're not. I
Yeah.
am. No, I am.
Well, I'm the most humble.
No, you're not. I am. Krishna, Krishna Chaitanya. You know, I was even like that in Karmi life, you know, before they say Karmi life. What is that Karmi life? But like, you know, before even coming across the movement, like I see it now. Like there'd be in Boston, which is, you know, where I was in college and school and stuff, you use the subways, you know, and rush hour, it's like they're crowded, you know, and everybody's trying to get into the train, you know, and they're pushing each other to get into the train. And then, so what I would do is, you know, I wasn't into that, you know, pushing and shoving to get into the train. It, I would just be like behind everybody. They'd all get in the train would take off, and I'd be the first one for the next train.
Hmm.
And I didn't have to do anything. They'd push me into the train.
Sure.
I think it's must be my personality, must be like that, you know. What a rascal.
Yeah.
What a rascal. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. It works as long as there's a train. If there's no train, it doesn't work.
That's funny.
If there's no spiritual master, it doesn't work, you know. Hare Krishna. Hmm.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed our time here.
Haribol.
Yeah. I don't know what time we got. I've got it's going on 3 a.m. here.
Yeah, it's up to 4 here.
Yeah, but you know, I have no place to be. You know, so I just
The best time to chant. This time of day is the best time to chant. You know.
yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Thank you for sharing what you were sharing, what you do share.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's my food stuff. The mercy of the devotees is my food stuff.
Yeah.
I sift through it, you know. I can find the nectar.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Chaitanya.